Welcome everybody to Cranky Old Anglers along with Mark. I'm Lyle, and Mark, it's good to have you back.
Thank you, bud. It's been we'll explain later on in the show what's been going on, but it's good to be back.
Right. I'm just glad to see you back, alive and kicking, and feeling cranky as ever.
You have no idea how cranky I've been in the last few weeks.
Well, I might. I might be able to relate. You know what I mean?
I quit shaving. Look at this. I grew a full beard in time I was away for the most part.
Wow. Well, I'm not doing that. I've had to
shave that off.
I don't get along very well with my itch, and if they itch, they scratch.
Let's see how many people we got watching here. We got 8 people that came back first. Why don't you guys speak up and chat? Let us know you're here.
Yeah, because we got some stuff to tell you about and different things. And you know what these are, Mark?
Those are plastics. Are you pouring plastics?
No, these are tails. They're tails that a lot of the jigs, stingers and stuff like that, say you want a chartreuse tail on a black jig, you have to pour the tail, put it in the mold, and then pour the plastic into the mold. And it melts the two together, and that's how you get your two-tone tail on a different color body. I've been tying these on hand ties. And I kind of like them.
Yeah.
This one's a short one. I tore it up.
Let me give you a full screen right there.
But, man, the action on them are amazing. So you have to use thicker thread to tie them on with, or thin thread will cut them in two.
You know, you got my address. You know that, right?
I do, and I'll see that you get some. And, you know, my good friend Leslie, I told her what I wanted to try, and she hooked me up with a bunch of tails.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So, you know, I've been testing them out.
Wait. Let's see what colors you got there again real quick so I can pick some out.
Okay. I have whoa, knock my mic over. You back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got blue.
All right.
And I got white.
I need some of them white ones.
Okay. I have orange.
Okay.
I have green chartreuse. I have red.
Look at that.
I have yellow chartreuse.
Nice.
I have purple.
There you go. I'll tell you right now what colors are going to work. White with the white tails, those will work.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you that what was it? The yellow with the black body will work really well, or the chartreuse, I should say. And then the blue with green body for sure, kind of like a Kentucky bluegrass.
Oh my God, Betty Jean's is joined us.
I know, she called me Santa. You didn't see that on her? Look, he said hi.
Did. Wow, it is so cool to see her in here. She has been away for so long.
I just got off the phone with her a few minutes ago. She was giving me a hard time, and that's why
really?
She's here.
I find that hard to believe.
She does not like the white, gray, cranky old beard. So, and she lets me know it every time I talk to her on FaceTime.
Well, I think it looks all right.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do, diet?
No. We know one guy who used to diet. I told Sheila I was going to diet, and she says, "You going to keep up with that?" Probably not. So I ain't
that's the point. Yeah.
I am gonna trim it off, maybe shave it down. Maybe I should try dyeing it before then. You know. And I hate telling women secrets, but I'm gonna tell one here. You know, ladies buy this powder to like kind of cover up their gray roots in between dyeing. Maybe I should just have Sheila order me some of that stuff and see what I look like with a dark beard. It's been so long since I haven't been gray, so we'll see. Or bald.
Yeah, I can't even remember what color my hair used to be. It's kind of a dirty blonde or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what mine was. Mine was kind of a reddish strawberry blonde. How they call it. That's what
I just miss being a redhead by a little bit, I think.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, no shit.
we both know a redhead. We know what them redheads are like.
That's right.
But then again, his wife's a sweetheart, so I guess that null and voids it. So
absolutely.
One washes out the other. Haven't seen Chad in a long time. Hope he's doing well.
Man, me too. I know. I'm really impressed with the way Chad's been catching fish this year. Him and his buddy goes out quite a little bit. I'm not sure if Dee's been out much, but they've really been on fish, and I'm really happy for them. I know Josh has been out the other day, and he was on a bunch. Dockery's been catching a lot of fish. I've been going a little bit, but I haven't had very good success so far this year. That I think I haven't got the boat out, which that's going to happen the next, probably next week. But I've been fishing off these conservation lakes, and I went to a different one yesterday, and it was horrible. I went to it specifically because the wind's been blowing so bad. It's down in a bowl, and I thought I'd go up there and the wind wouldn't affect me so bad. Well, that was not the case. It was just as bad there as it was anywhere else I'd been. I guess it's coming up through that valley and Ford hit them hills and stuff that it was going crazy. And I didn't do any good over there, but a couple of the others I've been to, I've been catching a few fish. I caught an 8-inch red ear the other day, which was a nice fish. Bunch of trash fish, damn bass. I go crappie fishing with jigs, and what do I catch? Ditch pickles. So,
Well, they like them too. I mean,
they're fun to catch. I'm using 4-pound test line and either ultralights or light action rods, and they're fun to catch. The guys at the conservation, one of the places has a hatchery, and there's so many bass in there. He's asked me to take some out and take them home and eat them. And I thought, well, I would throw them up on a bank, but you'll make me get in trouble over that. But it's loaded, man. I ain't kidding. And there's some big ones in there. I seen a 4-pound one caught last year, but there's one guy told me he'd caught a 10-pounder out there years ago. I was one particular lake. Now, I have been on nothing bigger than about 2 pounds personally, but like I say, I catch them crappie fishing. I'm not trying to catch the damn things. It just happened. But we was talking earlier before the show, and I've changed my mind about what I told you, Mark. I got a hold of Leslie, and she sent me these tails and stuff, and she had a underspin mold. And I watch a little bit of Richard Jean. I'd watch a lot more of Richard Jean if he didn't do that stupid shit he does during his shows. I don't like that. I watch him about fishing. He's not funny. I don't care what people tell him and what he thinks. That's not funny. But there's a reason why I feel that way, and it has nothing to do with him personally. I work for a handicapped accessible van place, and that affects me acting like that. I can't help it. That's just the way I am. But the underspins that he uses, he catches a lot of fish on them. So I was telling Leslie about it. She said, I got a mold that I don't use. I said, well, I need it. And she sent me a few that she had made up. And the biggest part of them, as you well know, about underspins is putting the little stainless steel ring on there that you attach the blade to. But it can be done semi-painlessly after I fooled around with one for 20 minutes and the next one about 30. And I stabbed myself with everything I picked up in the fingers trying to split them rings apart. But if you will put the underspin in a fly tying vise and split it with a dull pocket knife blade or something,
you can get it on there. There you go.
It ain't no problem. I can do, I don't know, 15 or 20 of them in a minute. They just fly.
I gotta try that. I like those the Berkley flicker shed and flicker minnows a lot, but they got the worst hooks in the world. So I like to switch them out, and I'm always, with the split ring pliers trying to get the old hook off and the new hook on, and it's quite a nightmare. But those hooks, a fish or two, or if you get caught up in a piece of structure, they're toast. So if you're not swapping out those hooks and you plan on using them a lot, you're going to find that out for yourself. But maybe that'll work. If I can get that in a vise somehow, maybe I can just put the hook in a vise and do it that way and just spin the ring around.
I just put the jig in there and split it, and it goes right on. I'm not having any trouble at all with that. I'm even trying hand ties on those jig heads, them underspin jigs. I think they'll be very successful.
I don't know if Berkley just is trying to keep frugal with the hooks they use on those, because those baits are as reasonably priced as any, as far as hard baits go. I mean, I think you can still pick them up for like right around $5, if not less than $5 on sale. Where I've seen some baits that I was looking at just last week. They wanted I forget the name of the company. I was watching Tom Bowley, I think, the guy who catches all the walleyes, and he recommended these, and he even said they were real expensive. They were like $13 for like a little 4-foot diving stick bait.
That's crazy.
That's, when you need, two each of like 5 different colors, that adds up to a lot of cash this day.
Oh, it does. And all of us is not independently wealthy like Chad is.
Yes, it's true. Definitely true. Got to pick up my wife's car for the mechanic. It's definitely true.
Oh man. You been having bipolar weather?
It has been Friday. I was going to try out and do a little bit of pond fishing, but I had to deal with the wife's car. She threw a check engine light, and so I had to get that into the shop. And she was at home because I can't drive 2 cars at the same time, and I can't get back from the place, and there wasn't anybody to do that. So I kind of ended up spending the day with her on Monday rather than going fishing, which is fine. But then the next day, yesterday, Tuesday, it rained like all day, and then at night, just south of me in Kankakee, they had golf ball size hail that was wrecking everything. Had some really nasty storms here in Illinois. Thank goodness we just got a ton of rain, real heavy rain at times, and it was like torrential and nonstop. It just kept coming and coming and coming.
I'm glad to have the rain, because the lakes around here is really, really low, and this is helping a great deal. But the tornadoes we don't need, and I'm sick of the wind blowing, but it looks like it's going to be here for a while. But it was 60 to 62 or 63 degrees on Monday. And then the next day we're back down in the 40s, which is normal. Right now, let's take a look real quick. Right now, what my top here is Northern Illinois. It's 36 degrees, and like my 10-day forecast, what do I got? Got lots of wind coming, a little more rain. We got a 50-degree day on Sunday. Other than that, it's all around in the 30s and 40s. So it's still early. But you know what I saw? Now, you mentioned wind, and that reminds me of this time of year, definitely, because we're always preaching fish the wind, fish the windy side of the lake, or fish yesterday's wind, I should say. I saw my first daffodil start popping, which you know what that means, don't you, Lyle? Spring's here.
Spring is on its way, at least, and it means crappie are going to start getting, the crappie bite's going to start getting hot. So I look for that every year, and it's starting to happen. I remember when we planted all those daffodils here at the house, I was kind of cussing my wife for having to do all of that, and now I'm grateful for them. So
it's a good thing. I'll tell you something I've been seeing that's very unusual. I've been seeing a lot of bald eagles. I've seen 2 out on a dead deer carcass here a while back, and about every other trip I go to this little lake, I see 1 or 2 sitting in trees or flying around looking for stuff to eat. Last fall, I watched one pick a fish out of the water. That was way cool. Of course, it happened so fast, you didn't get a camera ready so you get it on video or anything, but it was really neat to watch, and I've been enjoying that a lot. So
I was fishing on the bank a while back. This has got to be at least like 10 years ago, and I seen an eagle take out a goose mid-flight.
Wow.
And that was pretty vicious, but it was something to be witnessed. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, out here in the suburbs of Chicago. Well, I'm in the far suburbs again, but we got a few eagles here along the river that hang out. So we see them from time to time. Pretty cool to see big birds. And they don't make too much noise. We got a lot of hawks, that's for sure. On a hawk.
Oh man, them hawks are, and they call them endangered species. There's nothing endangered about a hawk. There's millions of them.
There's tons of them. Let me say hello to people I saw chat. I see Mike Sampson was the first one here. What's going on, Sampy? How you doing? I also saw Joe Buck, channel member. What's going on, Joe Buck? Thank you for your support.
Absolutely.
Let's see. There's Mark from Catfish. Oh, that's me. There's you, Lyle. We got Betty Jean came in here. Linda over at Butterflies and Sunshine popped in to say hello. How you doing, dear? Hopefully everything's good. There's our buddy Greg Burgess. I think I seen him on a live stream just a couple days ago. I think he was on Danny's live stream. And I think that's all that's chatting right now. Hello, folks. If you're in here, let's see. Oh, Kevin Baker, Nuts and Bolts Fishing's in there. What's going on, Kevin? How are you doing? Thanks for coming in. Hey, there's our buddy SK. That's right. He popped in here too. Make sure you guys tune into him an hour after our show on SK's crappie catching adventures.
A lot of cool, good information on there.
A lot of good info. A lot of high-end conversation on catching crappies, which we do love, being also known as Panfish Nation. There's Kevin Capel. What's going on, Kevin? How you doing? He says, last eagle I saw had someone's cat up in the tree, feeding it to their children. Holy smokes. There's LG Bass. What's going on, Tom? How you doing? So we got the good old gang here. Sorry again that, I've been away. Hey, well, you know what? We might as well get into that here real quick. I've been feeling horrible over the last year, even in, there's Chrissy Brown. How you doing, dear? I've been feeling pretty bad, getting tired real easy. I thought it was just me getting old. That is obviously something to do with it, but I'm only like 56. So finally, I got, of all things, I got an Apple Watch, right, Lyle? And it alerted me that I was having some cardiovascular problems.
Really? Your watch?
Yeah, watch told me, yeah. And obviously I kind of called Betty Jean. She's a nurse. We talked over a little bit. I went and I saw a doctor. So over the last like 2.5 months, I've been in and out of tests. So I have so I do have some problems with my heart, and hopefully they'll be able to fix it. I'm going in for surgery on the 24th. So if you guys got any prayers or good thoughts for me, I'd appreciate it. They say they do a lot of these, and they've been doing them for a while. So I'm going in for a triple bypass. We'll get that done, but I'll be down and out here for at least a couple of months. So Lyle will figure out what he's going to do going forward, whether it's have Dockery step in every now and then or have different hosts. It's totally up to him. But no, you guys will be on my mind, and I'll definitely be watching the show when I'm not here. So I figure I would just let everybody know. I know a lot of people think that I'm one of them. Personal stuff like that's nobody's business, but you guys are here every week and you listen every week on the audio podcast. So I figure I'd fill you in and let you know what's going on and be honest with everybody. So thank you, Tom. So that's what's been going on with me. So that's how come I've been kind of cranky lately. I'm not happy.
I don't think that's got anything to do with that. But we will be thinking about you, Mark, and as soon as you get to feeling like it, you come back in here and we will go just like you wasn't ever missing, because we have such a good time. In case anybody thinks that there's a lot of money in YouTube, and I'm not saying you can't make some money in YouTube. This show does not make any money. It's not about making money. It's Mark and I having a good time.
That's right.
I have talked to Dockery, and James will be filling in for you while you're gone. He was busy tonight, and he's the crankiest of all, so he kind of fits the bill.
He's like the grand poobah.
Yeah, that's right. But
we all like James. He's a good dude, and he knows what he's doing. So
he does know what he's doing. He's been on some fish too. His daughter Jolene, who is 14, I think, caught a giant crappie the other day.
Nice.
Oh, I mean, it's a giant. She might be 15. This is the last year she is eligible to fish the youth division and all them little kids tournaments that she's been killing them in the last few years. So I fully anticipate her to carry on her winning ways throughout this year. And she will be fishing against adults, and she's looking for online panfish tournaments. So if anybody knows of any, let me know so I can pass that along, because for some reason, she doesn't care much about beating her dad. She wants to kick my ass, and I'm okay with that. You know, I love to see kids win.
Well, she's got a good coach. That whole family's nothing but fishermen with
right.
a couple of state records and stuff. So you guys should have a show about that and make James fess up to all that stuff. He doesn't talk about it too much, but you should
He
make
really doesn't, but I forgot, he's had 3 or 4 state record fish. I think 1 or 2 of them's been beat now, but hell, as soon as they get beat, that's the only thing he can think about is getting back, you know.
Yeah.
And at least one of his sons, maybe both of them, has record fish. I'm not sure about Katie Jolene and his other daughter. I'm not sure if they have records or not, but yeah, they get on.
Hey, look at that. Kevin had a quad bypass in 213. That's a good deal.
Well, I'm glad to see you're doing all right, Kevin.
Amen to that.
Well, you know, Mark, the strides they've made in the medical field since my dad passed away with heart trouble is amazing. The things that they couldn't even find in the 70s is everyday stuff now. And they knock it out and do really well with it. The doctors, they got it figured out, and it's a thrill to me to see them be able to do the things that they can do that they weren't able to do back in those days. So I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, Greg says, Greg Burgess says, Mark, my prayers will be with you, my brother. I went through heart problems last year in the hospital twice. My doctor fixed me up. I'm glad to hear that. 100%.
Yes, sir. Hey, there's Josh, the weekend angler, listening and packing, headed to Tennessee tomorrow, Bobcat country. Oh, wow.
Somebody's going bumping.
Yeah. It's probably warmer there than it's been up here. I got 41 right now. It was 83 yesterday.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? Bipolar weather. I think
I got those 2 little bulldogs, right? And, you know, bulldogs got those push-to noses. 80 degrees is a cutoff for them. If it's 80 degrees out, I got to turn that air on or else they're suffering. So the longer we don't have 80 degrees, the better off I am, even though my heat.
Would you like to know my feelings about the weather?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Mother Nature is going through menopause.
Oh, this is true.
That makes her bipolar, and if she would find let him fix her up with a little something, I think weather would change.
I'm not going to make a comment because there's ladies in chat here, Lyle.
There is that damn groundhog. Is he ever right? Ever?
No, he's never right. You know that movie Groundhog Day? That was filmed like 5 miles from my house. Wasn't even filmed in Pennsylvania. So they have a big event here in what is in Woodstock, Illinois. So they had that here, and I didn't even check this year because I really I don't trust that little brown sucker. Now that I started hunting, I'd shoot that sucker dead and be done with him.
Wow. Josh says we're bumping, not taking a boat.
Oh, okay.
That don't make sense to me.
Well, hopefully he's going to have fun. So, yeah, as far as that goes, I guess, you know, after speaking to the surgeon and stuff, I won't be able to lift anything heavy or push anything heavy for a few months. So I'll be doing probably pond fishing around here locally, which I like to do. At least I'll be able to get out. It is going to kill me to not get the boat out, but, you know, in due time, it's not going nowhere. I know exactly.
You got to get healed up, and once you're healed up, you'll be good as new. Kevin Baker says, fish 7 days this month. Wow.
Wow. Nice.
Getting it on.
Jealous.
I've fished several days. But like I say, I'm struggling a little bit. I don't know if the fish have not moved up out of the deep or not. And for me to get to the deep, it's to places that I do not want to walk through. So I'm not going to, because I'm the only one there, and if something happens, then I'm stuck. And most of those lakes don't have phone signal for worth a damn. So
Greg Burgess says it was 83 down there in Louisiana today. It's supposed to be in the 50s tomorrow. Talk about hot flashes.
Yeah, okay. I'm thinking about going in the morning, even though it's going to be cold. I dug out my coveralls and stuff, so we'll see.
And Josh is taking the kids to the aquarium. He'll do some bank fishing, not in the aquarium. I was going to say,
come on.
Someone's
Come
got to
on.
try it. Just get a
Josh,
video.
you got big cojones. Surely you can throw a line in that aquarium. I double dog dare you.
No, Whisker Seekers sells them little short rods. Use my listen to this shameless plug. Use my promo code, save 15% of MCC at checkout. So let's get that in there.
Oh man.
One thing that I know that before I put my boat away thinking I was going to get it out one last time last fall, and I didn't. So it's that I kind of double dosed it with a fuel stabilizer, Lyle, right?
I do every year.
But I only got like a third of a tank in there. So I'm going to try, like I says, I'm going to not have surgery till the 24th. So I'm going to have somebody give me a hand and get that boat pulled out and go top it off and fill it up with gas and put it back in there and get her put to bed.
Yep.
So I'm just kind of worried about it, been sitting all fall and winter, and now it's going to sit spring and probably most of the summer. So I was reading it that I use, what's the brand that I use? The Stable Marine. It's STBIL. Yeah, Stable. And they say that's the best one after doing some research. So
that's what I use every year. I put it in mine. Even if I use my boat, it doesn't hurt it to be in there. So
yeah, I what I've been doing or started doing is I started pouring that in there every time I put fuel in the boat.
Absolutely.
Every time. I have a newer 4-stroke, and per the owner's manual, it says to put just a regular unleaded in, and they also have all the fuel lines that are resistant to alcohol, they say. But putting that additive in there can't hurt. And it's a big, it's a 50-gallon fuel tank, Lyle. So a lot of moisture can get caught up in there. So that's my biggest concern. So we'll get that topped off, and then I'll try to burn through the whole tank come fall, and we'll be doing a lot of fishing before hunting season comes around.
I think mine's got a 34-gallon fuel tank, 34 or 30. I think it's 34. And in the fall, when it starts getting cold, I fill it up and put that in there before I fill it up, so it kind of mixes, And then if I get to go and it doesn't get too bad, I'm able to go and burn that up, and it doesn't hurt anything because it's already in there. And if I don't get to go, it doesn't hurt it to set for a while. So, and I don't know if it lubricates the stuff, because my motor is not fuel injected. No, it's got carburetion. It's a 2-stroke. So I've never had carburetor trouble, knock on wood. I hope I never do, but if it does, I just pull them out and rebuild them. But I'm a believer in Stable. I've used it for years in boats and stuff, and as long as I've used it, I've not had any issues with it. So I think that it works really well. And if it's not, they got me fooled,
There's another brand that comes highly recommended by a lot of people on the internet, at least, and I think it's called Starbright. Hold on a second.
Never heard of that. Can you hear my dog snoring?
I cannot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Startron. It's Starbright Startron. And that stuff's really good. I like using that like once a year because it's like an enzymatic fuel stabilizer. What it does is if you have any algae or anything in there, it'll take care of the algae. So
how do algae get in your gas tank?
It does. It lives in fuel. There's an algae that lives in gas
Wow,
tanks.
I've never heard of that. That's wild.
Greg says, Mark, my go-to is Marvel Mistral. That's great for lubricating the top ends.
It is. It takes care of the top end on automotive or any kind of engine. It works really well. That used to be one of the big things to use because that's before all this other stuff come out.
Yep. Good stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when I go to start that. Of course, I always keep the batteries on charge. I took the lithium battery that I use for my electronics, which we can talk about here in a minute, in the house. So that's not in the boat. That's going to stay stable in the house. And I did. It was now everything I'm reading, at least in the older lithium batteries, you want to store them at like 2/3, 3/4. Charge. You don't want them at a full charge, and you don't want to store them empty. So that's kind of tricky. So I think I got her right there.
Right.
So we should be good to go. But speaking of electronics, Al, did you see the new offering from Garmin that I sent you? To take a look at that? Look.
I don't think I've looked at it yet.
They got a what is it called? A sky pole or something like that, which is 360 live scope for the most part. But man, it ain't cheap. That pole is like $2,000 just for the unit. It's an electric turret that hooks up to your trolling motor, and it comes with that new transducer. It's just another thing that people are gonna, spend their hard-earned money on. I'm not gonna buy it. I've come to the conclusion.
We'll get that credit card out.
No. I don't even use my
forward facing sonar.
Forward facing, yeah. I don't even use my forward facing that much. I'm just out there having a good time fishing. I'm not trying to impress anybody, but kind of unwind and figure it out on my own. I will use it. Don't get me wrong in certain situations, but I'm not doing like some guys do, and I'm not sharp shooting crappie or anything out of there, but it is neat to have. But I probably could have saved the money it cost to put it in there.
Guess what I did this morning, bright and early, while it was still raining.
I thought we weren't going to talk about like bodily functions online.
It's not nothing to do with that.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
I went out and have you priced red worms or night crawlers recently?
Oh, no, I have not.
I got a hold of my daughter and I said, go out in the yard and pick up some for me after a rain because they'll be everywhere. I was out picking up red worms today. And I got enough to go try to catch some bluegill tomorrow.
There you go. Look at this. I am looking at red worms. Oh, they're like $4 at Walmart right now. The red wigglers.
Not around here, they're $6 or something at Walmart.
Well, this is what I'm seeing. So online, they'll even deliver them to my house, which I'm really.
I love that. You don't even have to go to Walmart, and you can get their product. They'll bring it to your door. And not every store will do that, but most of them will anymore. They want that business, man.
They do. They'll have it to your house the same day. Get all your groceries and everything there.
And you can pick out a time when you're going to be there, and it'd be between, like a 2 or 3 hour period, and they'll bring it while you're there. So if you order anything that will spoil or whatever, you're going to make sure that you're there, and get that done. So
I think you need to be one of them Walmart Plus member or something, but
yep.
That ain't, and you'll get free delivery on anything and everything they have there. So it's, it rivals Amazon too. So it's nice to get stuff the same day.
There's another perk to Walmart Plus, Mark. And I'm not trying to pump them guys, but if you buy fuel from Walmart and you have Walmart Plus, you can get a code every time you put gas in your vehicle, and it'll save you 10 cents a gallon.
Let's not talk about the price of gas.
It's not bad here. I mean, it's bad. They could still be selling it for 30 cents a gallon if they wanted to and making money. They just don't want to. $2.86. I got it for $2.77 the last time I put gas in.
I don't, I topped off my truck since it's going to be sitting for a while, but I know that diesel went up like 60 gallons overnight, but I mean, it is what it's with what's going on in the Middle East. Greg Burgess says, Mark, I never used electronics for fishing. I like looking for them. That's part of the fun. Agreed. There's Benoit Fishing Outdoors. What's up, ladies? How are you doing?
Hey, Gabby and Allison. Glad to see you made it in there. I seen him holding up a picture of a really nice flathead. I was scrolling through Facebook last night and seen that. It was a great fish.
They're posting quite a bit. I haven't been on Facebook all too much lately. But whenever I'm on there, I always see their bright and shining faces up there holding fish. So
yep, they're doing good. I'm very happy about them. They're doing great. They're doing good with videos. They're catching a lot of fish. They're having fun, and that's the main thing to do.
So you talked a little bit about those red worms, which you can't go bad, and everybody knows. And I'm not going to quit preaching that the Berkley Gulp 1-inch minnows, heck of a bait year round. I don't care what anybody says; they're good baits. Crappie time's coming up. If I can get out, I just ordered. I just spent like $60
without me.
Yeah, without you. Over at Charlie Brewer, I ordered some restocking. They got these little 2-inch paddle tails. It's like 2 1/8 inch, but I ordered them in like a monkey muck color. I ordered them in a Mardi Gras, which is a clear body with gold, red, and blue sparkles and silver sparkles in them. They're kind of a Cajun looking bait. Maybe even some purple and gold in there, but those work really well. What else there? I ordered some paddle tails, so I'll be using them on the bank here coming up to see what I can get. Now that I know a couple of the ponds.
The other day from Leslie, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Leslie, well, I might mention this. I know a lot of people use Bobby Garland stuff, and it's everywhere in all the stores and things. Leslie Bacon, Little Miss Bacon Baits, has running auctions, one right after the other on Facebook right now, and you can get some deals on some high quality bait if you just scroll through there and look at it. She'd appreciate it. I'd appreciate it. And you don't have to pay too much. If it's too much, go to the next one because she'll run 3 or 4 of them at a time. And sometimes hardly anybody bids on them. Makes me want to bid on them myself, but I don't. I got plenty right now.
And she does that on Facebook, right, Lyle?
That's correct.
I'm looking up the link right now. I'll post that in chat here.
Man, I've had this for 2 months. I can't get rid of it. What's that, buddy?
I'm telling everybody in chat to give her a follow on Facebook. I'm posting a link right now. I know that I've had some of her stuff, real good products right there. There's a link. I just posted up there. So if you guys want to check her out and give her a follow on Facebook and keep an eye out for her auctions, you can probably get some good deals. So
absolutely. Yep, she's a really nice lady. So if you have any questions or anything, you can message her. It wouldn't surprise me if she doesn't have you call her if it's something technical, but most of the time she'll be able to answer any question you got right over the phone. And they're really good baits, and she's got a multitude of color. Got the glow in the dark stuff, and she's got little bitty ones and great big ones and everything in between. So it's about all I've been using here for the last year or so, and had great success. Well, you seen last year I was knocking them out.
And for those bass fishermen like yourself out there, you can't beat you can't beat a Ned rig this time of year. Definitely, those things are pretty deadly. You'll catch all sorts of fish, but there's something about dragging, a bait with the weight on the bottom and a little turd-looking plastic sticking straight up that those bass and other fish can't help but pick up. You'll catch a lot of catfish with there too. Speaking of catfish, Jerry Parker got his 100-pounder.
Ain't that something? Very happy about that.
He worked so hard at fishing, and he works, so he definitely deserves that. And if anybody deserves to catch a fish like that, it's Jerry. He willed that thing to happen through hard work and being relentless. And I think he fishes darn near every day, or at least every other day, if I'm not mistaken.
He fishes quite a bit, yeah, man. And that's a feat that a lot of us never going to see. But he's worked for it and deserved it. I'm very happy that he got it.
He definitely works for it, and it's not like he's fishing in one spot every night. He's all over the place. He's climbing rocks like a mountain goat, and and he works. And talking me and Rob Chance, we always say that Jerry's got a horseshoe inserted in the posterior section of his body.
Yeah.
But he knows his stuff, and he really works hard at it. So good for Jerry. Jerry, if you're listening by any chance, congratulations, buddy.
Absolutely. That's great fish. It always. But, I think they're all great.
Yeah.
Unless it's a bass, drum, something like that, trash fish. They're not great, but they're still fun to catch.
They're still fun to catch. They keep the tension on the line. So
that's right. Stretch your line. That's all we're after, anyhow.
This time of year, I'd probably be chasing walleyes and crappie here soon. But it's prime walleye time right now. Find them in the shallows. Coho season's coming up here quick. I'm so upset I'm going to miss that, but it is what it is. There's always next year.
I'll tell you what I was impressed with. Mike Baker has a new video out where he was catching catfish, and he was laying them out. So he was really good. Hey, there's Ernie Brown.
What's going on, Ernie? Mike Baker puts together good videos, and he's been doing it for a long time. I don't know if he's retired or not, but I know he lives in Missouri, and he does a lot of he's been making videos for a long time, and he's built up quite the following. So his channel is getting pretty good. So if you haven't checked out Mike Baker Fishing, go ahead and check it out. He does real well. What lake does he fish on?
He fishes Lake Ozark and Truman, mostly Truman now. He used to fish mostly Lake Ozark, but he had his office was in Columbia or Jeff City. And I think he retired. I don't know if he sold it or if he still owns it and somebody else is doing his lawyering or whatever. But I think basically he fishes now, which is great.
Yeah, good for him.
Awesome. I love it.
What's going on, Ernie? Ernie says he's listening while making Chrissy dinner after church today. Good for her. Hopefully you're cooking something other than hot dog gravy for her. She deserves better than that.
Oh, gravy. I've never heard of hot dog gravy before.
Oh, yeah, he makes it. Craig Burgess says, Mark, I am going to catch a freshwater drum for Lyle and cook it. There you go.
You knock yourself out, buddy, because they don't even make good bait. If another fish won't eat it, it can't be that good.
I've never had freshwater drum to eat. I know Josh likes it. Jerry likes it. I think even Rocky likes it. Yeah, they like it.
They're just bony as hell. That's not.
I know. I've cut them open and tried to use them for bait, and the amount of bones and the skeletal structure reminds me of shad. So that kind of makes me not want to eat them at all. Yeah, I would think they would be a great bait, as shiny as they are on a hook alive, but I've never had any luck with them. We've had this conversation. I don't
know anybody that's had consistent luck on them. I know a couple of guys that told me they caught fish on them, but I've never seen anybody catch on them. And I never have. And I've used them a lot of time when that was all you could get. It was either use that or you didn't have no bait. Nothing. I mean, nothing. They're just not very good bait.
Look at that. Josh says their fillet isn't bony at all.
So you say. I ain't eating them nasty suckers.
I mean, I'd try it. I'm not against trying anything once.
I've tried them a number of times. And the best way I ever had one, and it was still horrible, was baked in the oven. That was the best way I had it, and it's not even close to anything good to eat like crappie or walleye or catfish or anything like that. It's not even in the same. It's not even close.
I'm going to have to get on this heart healthy thing, and so I'll be eating a lot more baked fish and maybe some blackened fish. So maybe we'll come up with a little different cooking show. Fried fish once a month, I was told. I was like, oh man, I was not happy about that.
Ernie says he's going to make some coconut shrimp soon. That sounds really good.
No, I'm not a coconut shrimp fan. I'm sorry.
I've never had it, but I'd be interested in trying. If it's shrimp, it can't be too bad.
There's Cindy. What's going on, Cindy? How you doing?
And Heather.
Hello, Heather. How are you doing?
I was in Columbia the other day with Heather, the doctor.
Nice.
He was up there.
Oh yeah, so also my mom went in the hospital this weekend, so that was kind of rough. She's out. Oh, yeah, so keep her in your thoughts too, folks. So.
Absolutely, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
She's kind of been tied up with stuff. I understand you not letting me know everything's going on.
It's just slipped my mind. My mom went in the hospital. My brother-in-law went in the hospital with a bad case. He had to cut into his foot. Long story. We'll talk about it later. So I've been dealing with all that family stuff. It's been crazy.
Yeah. I tell you, Heather has had some issues here recently, and I went over there to be with her at her doctor's appointment, and I'm glad I did. I understand a lot more now about how things are going on with her, and I'm just glad I went. The doctor that she had and I'm not big on women doctors. They're great for women. They're not great for men, in my opinion. But this one was very good about explaining things and why this and that was going on and why she probably is on wrong medicine and different things. And I was impressed with the whole situation. And I don't think it was even a doctor. I think it was a nurse practitioner, and I will not see one of them ever. I want to see a doctor. If I'm paying to see a doctor, I don't want some second-rate thing that wants to be a doctor. If you want to be a doctor, go to college and get your degree and call it a day. But that's just me. This lady was really good, and I was impressed with her.
You know, my surgeon has an assistant that's a nurse practitioner, and I got to give her credit. Shout out to Michelle. She is on the ball. She's been doing it for 30 years, strictly business, answers all my questions, replies to any messages I send her like right away within hours, depending on the time of day. First thing in the morning, the answers are always there. So, you know, God bless her. She takes real good care of this. You know, I used to be able to thought that I'm paying to see a doctor. I need to see a doctor, and usually I do. But if you know that sometimes the doctors get real busy and the only ones available is a nurse practitioner, I got no problem these days going to see one of them. So if I have to,
says I didn't have many health problems until I turned my late 60s. Well, it started a little earlier than that with me, but it just seems like about the time you get ready to retire and enjoy life, that's when things start happening. But some of us, like, you know, it happens earlier, but for the most part, I said, but if you stay active, you got to stay active. That's the key to it. Staying active, and it all works good. Glad to see Mike Irwin has joined us.
What's going on, Mike? How you doing? Yeah, I got a saying that I tell everybody. I was, you know, running on all 8 cylinders until I turned 50, and then check engine lights started coming on.
Yeah, no kidding. I understand about that. But you know, now's the time you're supposed to be fishing, enjoying what you're doing, not having so much drama and shit go wrong with your health. You know, this is supposed to be.
What choice do you have? You got to adapt and overcome. Try to keep positive. You know, I can't pull my boat out, so I'm going to do some more bank fishing, probably at the pond and stuff. Yep. So I'll do what I'll do. I'll take it easy until I'm ready to go full bore again. So I do look forward to that day. But I'll tell you what, it'll be nice to get out and, you know, wet a line. That's for sure. I've been kind of dying to do that, and right now I'm just trying to wrap everything up before anything happens.
Absolutely.
And the weather hasn't complied either, so we'll see.
Now the reason you won't be able to take the boat out is just because you have to move it manually, get it out of the water.
Yeah, because you know when they do the bypass, they split your sternum from top to bottom, and they use stainless steel wires to hold it closed, and you don't want to pull that apart.
No, absolutely not.
That's the main reason. It's so you can heal without, you know, damaging the parts that are healing up. So the heart should be fine, not fine, but I should be, you know, up and walking the very next day, and then
that's,
you know,
amazing. That is amazing. You know, having major heart surgery like that makes my little back pain seem kind of minuscule.
Well, all right, we're going to get into this. They're going to stop my heart and my lungs and hook me up to machines, so my heart's not going to be moving the whole time I'm in there for the 5 hours, they tell me. So that's the kind of part that kind of freaks me out. They went through everything they do, and it's pretty incredible. I'll be in the ICU. I'll be in ICU for like the day or two, and then they'll keep me in there, but I won't be considered an ICU patient. But all the heart nurses are in the ICU at the hospital I'm going to. So it's interesting. Well, you know, we'll get through it. I know you got Sheila's going to give you a text, and you'll have her number, and she'll keep you filled in. So
yeah, I'm very concerned and worried. You know, we haven't really been through a lot, but we've been very pleasantly surprised with each other, I guess. We've got along really well over these years. I don't want anything to happen to you, so I just want you to get through this. That's a good attitude. I just want you to come back here, and we'll be grumpy again.
What if I find a new lease on life and I start being happy-go-lucky, Mark? That's
I'll be grumpy enough for both of us.
All right, good deal. Hey, there's Solo. What's going on? How you doing? He says, hello, Cranky Lyle and Grumpy Mark.
Yep. That's a fact, man. If we can get some warm weather, I don't think we're supposed to have any really warm weather for about next week or so, but it's not going to be raining. That's the reason I drug the coveralls out, because I'm not going to stop fishing just because any reason. It's got to be pretty bad for me not to go. It's got to be iced over or something. And I just want the crappie to move back up in the shallows where they was and come in out of the deep. But even in 40-degree weather, the water's warming up a little each day.
You would happen to know what the water temperature is by you, Lyle? I'm kind of curious.
I do not know. But I'm going to get ready to get the batteries all charged up on the boat. And, Catfish and Crappie, number 35 months. That's awesome. Thank you, guys.
Long time. And if you guys want to join and support Lyle's channel here, there's a link down in the description. Go ahead and do that. I put hot the thumbs up, my fat finger. Sorry, folks. Hit the thumbs up, folks, 100%. Hit the thumbs up before you head out. We'd appreciate it.
If we can get, I'm just going to, like I say, charge the batteries up and go ahead and get the boat ready to go, because I'm thinking underneath the bridge around them piers, the crappie ought to start falling in there pretty hot and heavy pretty quick.
They're gonna start staging up here soon. Get ready for spawn. We'll do that a couple times a year. So, check. Don't be shy. Check out all those baits with your side imaging. See if you can find them clouds of fish out there. I think you will.
Look for that he's cut some open, already had eggs in them.
Yep, I believe it. I know Jody was fishing. She cut open a channel cat and it was full of eggs. She was asking questions about that. Yeah, it's a little early for channel cats to be spawning. Sometimes, they'll get egg bound from the previous year, I believe. I'm not a biologist. Or some of them start producing eggs early, getting ready for the spawn, even now, probably so.
Probably so. They don't just produce eggs overnight. It takes a little while to get it ready. But we're quite a ways from catfish spawn, but not that far for crappie and bass and bluegill and stuff like that. And once the bluegill start, they spawn every month on the full moon. So.
And back to baits, winter kill. Let's bring that up before we go.
Let's do.
We got here at Pierce Lake over at Rock Cut State Park. I've been seeing a lot of pictures of a lot of winter kill. Now, I fished that lake last summer and spring, and it's usually pretty good crappie fishing over there, but it was horrible last year. And one of the things I do use that live scope or the front-facing sonar for is to figure out why. And all I saw was bait. That lake was so overloaded with shad, so they had a big shad kill. Hopefully the fishing will improve. That being said, make sure that you use cut bait for fish like catfish and stuff, because that's what they're feeding on this time of year is winter kill. I'm a firm believer in matching the hatch, even though the hatch happens to be winter kill shad. Keep an eye out on the banks. If you see the banks are loaded up with dead shad, you know what happened. It's nothing to be alarmed of unless it's like massive quantities, but
every year.
That can make channel cat and even flathead fishing this time of year a little difficult. So this time of year, especially for catfish, I like using dead bait mainly for channels and like big dead baits for flatheads. I always got a flathead line out there, and dead shad seems to be the ticket. Or for some reason, candy bar sized baits, like chubs and suckers. They seem to work good this time of year. Usually dead or cut into chunks. So.
That's a fact. And like I say, they have a shad kill most lakes every year, unless it's extremely warm. Down south, they don't have shad kill. I don't think. They just continue to grow and produce more and more and more, which, let's face it, that's a good deal. Remember, 39 months. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it, bud. He's been a member for so long. He's always around. It's always good to see Joe.
Absolutely. He makes about every show. I think I can't remember one that he wasn't part of. So we're happy with that.
Some pictures of him with a fish a couple of months ago. That was cool to see.
Solo Texan Adventure says, fellas, I have an off-subject question, if it's okay. My new boat's set for about 3 years in my climate-controlled garage, but I'm ready to get it out this spring. I just had my fluids.
Probably changed.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that you want to do, Solo. It says fluids changed when stored up. What do I need to do to get it back on the water? All right. So I don't know what kind of fuel tank you have in that. I don't recall. I know you've had it. I think he even has a Lund. I could be mistaken. It's been a long time. If you got one of those fuel tanks, red plastic ones, you can take that out of that boat and get rid of that fuel. That fuel sat for a long time. Whether you treated it or not, fresh fuel never hurts.
Right.
Make sure your batteries are charged up. Make sure your wheel bearings are in good shape because they'll dry out. Yeah, that's right. I did remember it's a smaller Lund. So if you can't get the fuel out of your boat, make sure you got a fresh fuel. Maybe even get a bottle of octane booster. That'll help you get through that tank. I would burn all that fuel off before you put any more in. Diluting it might sound like a good idea, but if you can get her running, no problem. Burn through that and get fresh. The more fresh fuel, the better. Other than that, batteries changed. Check the fluids, make sure they're there. As far as like the lower end, I don't know if those collect water just sitting there. I don't think they do. They should be all right.
Said he drained the tank before he let it set. That's a wise choice.
Okay. Fresh fuel, start it up in your driveway, make sure she runs. Let that fuel use like either the Stable Marine or the Star Bright or Startron fuel additive. Make sure you get that in there. That'll help. Maybe even like a little tiny bit of sea foam in there, help lubricate the engine heads. It can't hurt Solo to pull the spark plugs and put a shot of like either Miracle Oil or even 10W40 or couple drops of transmission fluid in each cylinder. Turn that motor over. That'll help ensure that if there is any rust in the sleeves, that it breaks free and it'll work itself clean. Something like a transmission fluid works pretty good. When I say that, I just mean a couple of drops, maybe a shot or two there. That's pretty much all you need. But the fluids and transmission fluid will help take care of that. That's pretty much all you got to do. Make sure you got all your safety equipment. Make sure your ropes aren't dry rotted so you don't tie that boat up and she drifts away or something like that. Just give it a real good look over and you should be good to go if you can get it started. So
one thing that I will mention, if even if it pumps water, if you're able to do it, it's not hard to change a water pump propeller in them. After setting that long, them propeller fingers have not moved.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be hard. And even if it pumps water, they're probably going to go bad shortly. If you're able to do that, I would recommend go ahead. They're not hard to change on anything I've seen. That don't mean some of them are not hard to do. Mercuries are extremely easy to change on. You just take the bolts out, lower it down, pull the old one out, put the new one in, put a new gasket on, and slip her back up in there. It's not that difficult. If you're not comfortable with doing that, find you somebody that can do it and have them change that water pump, because they go bad every 3 or 4 or 5 years anyhow. So if it's set and then they're just rubber, they get hard after setting.
Speaking of that, I mean, rubber dry rot. Check your tires too.
Oh, absolutely. Make sure they're not dry rotted. Pack the wheel bearings. I try to remember to do that every year.
Here's a question. Do you recommend using non-ethanol gas? It's a 50 horsepower Mercury 4-stroke. Check your owner's manual. It'll tell you what grade fuel to use. Some of the newer 4-strokes, I believe yours is on the newer side. Ethanol gas won't hurt it. The thing that that ethanol hurts in a lot of the older motors that aren't built for it is mainly the fuel lines. That ethanol eat away at the fuel lines. Any gas gets inside the fuel system, the bulb, things like that. But these newer motors, and it'll tell you in your owner's manual. And if you don't have it or can't find it, you can download one online and just take a look at it. Because non-ethanol fuel can cost you some money, can cost you some time, because it's usually a trip. I know the closest non-ethanol that I can use is right over here by the Lake in the Hills Airport, which is nowhere near anywhere that I go, to be honest with you. So it's definitely out of the way.
Yeah. Ernie Brown says, right, Lyle, Easy's eating pie. He's talking about the water pump. Ernie, if pie eating is that easy, you're doing it wrong. You got to make a job out of it and just go at it like a wild man. Try to eat the whole thing before anybody else gets any of it.
Have you know what would be a perfect night? Would be a nice cocktail, a shrimp dinner, and pie for dessert, right, Lyle?
You know, there's only two kinds of pie, right?
What's that?
Hot and cold.
This is true. Thank you, Heather. You're in my prayers too. I've been praying for you 100%. Solo says, okay, I did call today and they want to charge close to $350 to change the impeller. I need to learn to do it on my own. Thanks for all the help, fellas. Yeah, just look on look on YouTube. It's easy. The 40s, it's the same motor I had on my old boat. The 40s, 50s, and 60s is the same way. It's a fuel bolts on the bottom. Just make sure you have the throttle. I think it's in reverse or forward. It'll say on whatever video with the instructions, just so you can get the shaft put back in there. It's a few bolts. You drop it down. Make sure you don't drop it on your hands or drop it and break the skag. And it's pretty straightforward, man.
It's not hard to do. If you're mechanically inclined at all, you can do it after you watch one of them videos. I promise.
If you can do an oil change, you can do an impeller.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. Hey, there's Lance McCoo guy. Welcome,
What's
Lance.
going on, Lance?
I got to tell you, Mark, before we get out of here, Heather ordered some of those baits that Lance paints up.
Nice.
And I got a chance to see them in person. They're very nice and well done. I was impressed with them. Personally, I don't bass fish. If I bought them, they would be just to stick up here because Lance done them and no Lance and all that. But they are very nice. So if anybody wants to check out some cool stuff, go check out Lance's baits that he paints. They're awesome. He done a bang up job, and I was really pleased with the way they turned out. They looked awesome.
You're very welcome, Heather. Heather says she's doing an extended EEG and MRI on April 28th.
Yeah.
Mine's on the 24th, so you and I will probably be crossing time. So I'll be in there for a while you're still there. I'll be definitely thinking about you. Yeah, the impellers, again, more people talking about it in here. It's pretty simple stuff.
Yeah, I can't believe they charge that much to put one of the impellers in. That's just crazy.
Well, marinas, they charge money. They got to get paid. You know,
right. They got to buy. You know, the thing about somebody that works on cars or boats or anything like that, most jobs you go to and they got everything there. You just go to work, do your job, you go home, take your lunch box, or you order in to eat. A mechanic has to buy every tool in that box and pay for it. And if you think they're not expensive, you're badly mistaken. You can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on that stuff, but once you start in, you are at it for life because you got such investment in it, you can't quit and go somewhere else.
And you know, guys, know if you ever see that Snap-on truck drive around or a Matco truck, you know, them guys, they take payments. That's how much these tools cost.
That's exactly right.
They pull in they pull in once a week, and you got to make that payment. They come pick it up.
Yep, that's right.
Good tools though cost money. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, if I
could make the cheese spots all over your hands and things, you'll wish you'd have had good tools. I promise you.
Yep. You know, Lyle, did I ever tell you my wife used to work for Snap-on?
You did.
I got lots of Snap-on stuff. Thank God for them. I got a lot of like test stuff that never came out to the public too. That's pretty neat. We'll talk about that later.
I have a Snap-on fillet knife.
Nice.
It's got like a bread blade on it. Ain't worth a damn for cleaning fish. But I still got it.
That's a bait knife. If it's got serrated edge, use it for bait.
I guess I could, but it's 110. I thought thought it would work out good for filleting crappie and stuff, but it's not flexible enough. I need a different blade for it. And I'm sure you just need to find a company that made it for them, and their blades will work. I just haven't. But I just clean them with a regular knife anyhow.
I think a lot of saltwater fish fillet better with a stiffer blade, some of the larger ones. I think what that could have been made for too.
It could have been. I don't know.
Since we're talking let me get one last word in here. Thank you everybody for the kind words and stuff. I'll be looking forward to coming back. And I think I'll probably be able to come back. I'll probably be back next Wednesday too, before the surgery. So we'll talk about that, Lyle, after the show.
Okay. All right.
But one last thing, the one thing that my father used to love, Lyle, is that Snap-on calendar. There's a stack of them behind his bar at my house where I grew up right now to this day. So every time I go down there to fix something for my mom, I see those up there, and it makes me smile. Think of him. He used to love that stuff.
Hey, there's Dave Garcher. Welcome, buddy. I'll tell you what I got, Mark. Before the girls sued Snap-on for whatever it was they sued them for, they used to make girl clocks.
Mm-hmm.
I have several of those.
Oh, nice.
I probably should sell them. But they got sued for exploiting women over that.
Really?
And the girls won the case, but they quit making the clocks. I don't know about the calendars.
I'm not quite sure. I think my wife was employed there when they quit making the calendars. I don't think I ever knew the reason why, but yeah. I remember when they did that, everybody was pretty disappointed.
Yep.
Well, let's end this show, buddy.
Let's do it. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next week. Keep marking your prayers.
Thank you guys. Thanks for understanding, and we'll appreciate you. I appreciate every one of you. We'll talk later. And look at this. Solo said my dad used to like them Snap-on calendars too. Good night, everybody.